Hello, my little neurons. Today we are reviewing Waking, a game that comes to us from developer Jason Oda and publisher TinyBuild. This game will be available as of June 18th on both Xbox and Steam. Steam is where we played it. Waking is an action-adventure game meets meditative experience. In this game, the main character is you. You quite literally enter your own name and the game addresses you throughout. As you try and awaken from a coma, you are fighting for your own life. Throughout Waking, you will be asked to enter somewhat personal information about your past experiences, memories, and feelings. This game asks you everything from your biggest fears in life to where you grew up. There's one point in the game where you even bring back to life a former pet, which is a little unnerving. You basically explore this game in a pretty linear fashion. Everything is really laid out for you. There is a map, though it's pretty hard to get lost. I kind of wish it was as easy to navigate my own mind because I definitely get lost in there. The landscape itself is basically your own mind that you are navigating and building a palace out of your memories. Within the palace, you will come across enemies, some of which are quite disturbing in nature. You are also gradually introduced to a rather unique combat system that is based 100% on telekinesis. You essentially lift up objects, charge them up, and hurl them at really strange looking enemies. You can also pick up and absorb feelings, which allow you melee attacks. Additionally, there are belief tiles that block attacks and can reflect them back at your enemies. You will also acquire certain abilities which can be equipped throughout your gameplay. This is a really interesting combat system. Unlike most games that I've played in the past, I did find it a bit cumbersome to have to collect feelings in order to use melee attacks, which some enemies required. It may just be a me problem, as usual. However, I did find some of the combat to be a little bit confusing and at times a little bit overcomplicated. I think I would have preferred if this played as just a true standard third-person action game where I could use my melee whenever I needed to and not when I had collected the proper amount of feelings. Even though it didn't quite jive with me, I do appreciate that they were trying to do something that is not like other games, and I'm always appreciative of games that are willing to take a chance and stand out. As you defeat enemies, you also collect neurons, which allow you to progress in the game, unlock certain things, use certain abilities. I hope that your brain synapses are firing at all cylinders by now because, yeah, there is a lot going on here. The graphics in this game are similarly quite unusual and unlike most games out there today. There are a number of different landscapes that you will traverse, including your mind palace, as well as some outdoor landscapes that appear to be almost dreamlike or like a drug state. Colors are either really oversaturated or entirely muted. There's items floating around you like tables and chairs and tires. The main character themselves, or yourself, is faceless and rather indistinguishable. Enemies often look like either balls of light or specters or deep sea creatures at times. There's also these death creatures that have animal heads and human bodies, which are very bizarre. During the moments of meditation or self-reflection when you are thinking back on memories of your past life, there are absolutely no graphics on the screen. It is just a black screen with the words "close your eyes" on it. Fittingly, a lot of the sound design is very atmospheric and meditative, but there are some themes in the game, including a battle theme, which is almost like a alternative rock song meets post-rock song. It's a little bit of an odd fit, but I do like the song. The rest of the sound design and sound effects in this game are quite mystical or magical. There's a lot of explosions when you are defeating these enemies, and it can get quite loud at certain periods in the game. Looking back at this game, wow, what a strange experience. I felt very attacked every time that they said my name, and it almost made me uncomfortable, which was a unique experience for playing any video game for me. That level of discomfort comes from really putting yourself in the shoes of someone who is on death's bed. It makes you really look back at your own life and reflect on what's been good and bad, and your loved ones, and the places you've been, and the things you've seen. However, I do wish that the game focused more on that life and death balance and that experience of reliving memories more than the combat, because as much as I thought it was unique, it was a little bit too convoluted, and it kind of ruined the other half of the experience for me. The game itself does give a trigger warning, so I feel like I should as well. If you are in a particularly fragile mind state right now, or if you're worrying a lot or having a lot of anxiety, this might not be the best game to play at this time. As I said, this game really does have a way of kind of getting in your head, and it does feel like it's addressing you in a lot of instances. There's such a unique duality to this game, because if you're willing to put up with a kind of mediocre combat system, there is a innovative and highly introspective game awaiting you here. Thank you so very much for checking out our review of Waking today. If you enjoyed this review and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button below. If you'd like to check out some other ways to support I Dream of Indie, feel free to browse that description box below. Thank you again for watching.